Open in total chaos, lava raining from the sky, mobs swarming from every direction, and my health bar flashing red. It's the 99th day and I'm one creeper away from total disaster. Visual cue, fast-paced zoom on my panicked Minecraft face, meme air horn sound effect. My inventory's a mess, my armor's nearly broken, and the clock's ticking. How did I get here? Let's rewind to the beginning because this challenge was supposed to be impossible. But I had a plan, or so I thought. Flashback to day 1. The challenge: survive 100 days as a warden in Minecraft hardcore mode. If I fail, my entire world gets deleted, no backups, no mercy. Visual cue, dramatic shader, screen shakes as the punishment is revealed. The stakes: if I die, I have to eat a raw onion on camera. Yeah, you heard that right, internal monologue. No way I'm letting my taste buds suffer for content. But every 2 minutes, something catastrophic will happen. That's the progression. Let's see how I handled it. At 1 minute 2, suddenly the ground beneath me turns to TNT. Visual cue, meme explosion sound, screen flashes red. Internal monologue: okay, don't panic, TNT only explodes if triggered. I tiptoe, sweating pixels, and craft a water bucket. Creative solution: I use water to diffuse the TNT, but it floods my base. Now I'm swimming with my chests, not ideal, but I'm alive. That's a win, right? Minutes later, a horde of silverfish erupts from the walls. Visual cue, fast zoom on silverfish swarm, meme scream sound. Internal monologue: silverfish, seriously, who coded this nightmare? I grab my sword, but it breaks mid-swing. Quick thinking, I lure them into the waterlogged base. Turns out silverfish can't swim. Problem solved, but now my base smells like wet bug. Gross. E2, my food supply is running low and the next setback hits, all crops instantly wither. Visual cue, dramatic shader, sad trombone sound. Internal monologue: guess it's time for a fishing montage. I craft a fishing rod, but every fish I catch is a pufferfish. Creative solution: I trade with a wandering villager for bread, but he wants emeralds. Time to mine fast. I dig down for emeralds, but the next catastrophe strikes. Cave in. Visual cue, screen shakes, rockfall sound effect. Internal monologue: of course, never dig straight down. I use my last torch to spot an exit, but a skeleton blocks the way. Quick reflexes: I build a dirt staircase and escape with half a heart. That was too close. Emeralds in hand, I return to the villager only to find he's been zombified. Visual cue, meme sad violin, dramatic close-up. Internal monologue: seriously, I just wanted bread. I scramble to cure him, but the next setback hits. All my potions turn to poison. I risk it anyway, and after a tense wait, he's cured. He gives me a single potato. Thanks, I guess. Night falls and mobs spawn in record numbers. Visual cue, fast-paced zooms, meme bruh sound. Internal monologue: this is fine, everything's fine. I build a sky bridge to escape, but a phantom knocks me off. Quick thinking, I clutch with a water bucket, landing safely, but now I'm surrounded by creepers. Time for another creative escape. Trying to automate my defenses, I set up a redstone trap. Visual cue, meme technical difficulties, music, screen flickers. Internal monologue: how hard can it be? The trap backfires, launching TNT at my own base. I scramble to disarm it, barely saving my chests. Lesson learned: leave redstone to the pros. A5, I try to breed animals for food, but the next setback, all animals turn into chickens. Visual cue, meme chicken cluck, zoom on confused face. Internal monologue: guess it's omelets for days. I build a massive chicken farm, but the noise is unbearable. Creative solution: I use eggs as projectiles to fend off mobs. Who knew chickens could be so useful? Suddenly, a thunderstorm hits, setting everything on fire. Visual cue, dramatic shader, thunder sound effect. Internal monologue: rain, rain, go away, or at least stop burning my house. I scramble to build a stone roof, but lightning strikes my storage room. Quick fix: I dump water everywhere, saving most of my loot. Close call. My inventory's overflowing and the next setback, all items randomly shuffle. Visual cue, meme confusion sound, spinning inventory animation. Internal monologue: where's my sword? Why do I have 64 doors? I quickly sort through the chaos, tossing useless items and keeping essentials. Organization is key, even in madness. I venture into the nether for blaze rods, but the next catastrophe, ghasts everywhere. Visual cue, meme oh no sound, fireball zoom-ins. Internal monologue: why did it have to be ghasts? I dodge fireballs, build a cobblestone bunker, and snipe them with a bow. After a tense battle, I escape with the rods and my sanity barely intact. Back home, I try brewing potions, but the next setback, all water turns to lava. Visual cue, meme hot 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 sound, screen glows red. Internal monologue: guess I'm not brewing today. I improvise by using golden apples for healing and focus on fortifying my base. Sometimes you just have to adapt. I set up traps around my base, but the next catastrophe, all pressure plates become TNT triggers. Visual cue, meme boom sound, fast zoom on feet. Internal monologue: tiptoe time. I carefully dismantle the traps, sweating bullets. One wrong move and it's game over, but I manage to clear them all barely. An enderman appears in my base, teleporting everywhere. Visual cue, meme teleport sound, screen flickers. Internal monologue: don't look, too late. It attacks, but I use a boat trap to immobilize it. Quick thinking saves the day and I get an ender pearl for my troubles. I skip sleep to work through the night, but phantoms swarm. Visual cue, meme sleep deprivation sound, zoom on tired face. Internal monologue: should have made a bed. I build a quick shelter, but the phantoms break through. I use snowballs to knock them away, buying just enough time to craft a bed and finally sleep. I try to escape by boat, but the next setback, sudden ocean monument spawns. Visual cue, meme surprised Pikachu face, dramatic music. Internal monologue: guess I'm not going anywhere. I dodge guardians, use invisibility to sneak past and finally reach land soaked but alive. On land, I'm hit with a sandstorm, visibility drops to 0. Visual cue, dramatic shader, sand blowing animation. Internal monologue, can't see a thing. I use torches to mark my path, but a husk ambushes me. I barely fend it off using a cactus as a weapon. Sometimes you have to improvise. I enter a jungle, but the next catastrophe, vines everywhere making movement impossible. Visual cue, meme stuck sound, zoom on tangled legs. Internal monologue, why did it have to be vines? I craft shears and cut my way through, but a parrot steals my shears. I chase it down, retrieve my tool and finally break free. Scaling a mountain, the next setback, sudden avalanche. Visual cue, meme avalanche sound, snow animation. Internal monologue, avalanche in Minecraft. I dig into the mountain for shelter but get trapped. I use a torch to melt the snow and dig my way out, never a dull moment. I stumble into a village under siege by pillagers. Visual cue, meme heroic music, zoom on determined face. Internal monologue, time to be the hero. I rally the villagers, set up defenses and fend off the raid. In gratitude, the villagers give me enchanted gear. Finally, a win. Crossing a swamp, the next setback, slime rain. Visual cue, meme slippery sound, green overlay. Internal monologue, slime boots would be nice. I use lily pads to hop across, dodging slimes, but one sticks to my head. I shake it off and keep moving, nothing can stop me now. Exploring a cave, the next catastrophe, sudden darkness. Visual cue, meme lights out sound, pitch black screen. Internal monologue, where's my night vision? I fumble for torches but bats knock them out of my hand. I use flint and steel to light a fire, revealing a hidden mineshaft. Jackpot. In the mineshaft, I find a treasure chest, but it's a mimic. Visual cue, meme surprised sound, chest grows teeth. Internal monologue, should have known. I fight it off with my pickaxe, barely winning. The real chest contains diamonds, worth it maybe. I build a portal to the end, but the next setback, the portal spawns in midair. Visual cue, meme uh-oh sound, falling animation. Internal monologue, hope I packed blocks. I bridge to safety but an enderman attacks. I use a pumpkin helmet to avoid its gaze and make it to solid ground. In the end, the dragon fight begins, but every 2 minutes new ender crystals respawn. Visual cue, meme boss music sound, dramatic lighting. Internal monologue, this is impossible. I use beds to explode the crystals, dodging dragon breath. It's chaos, but I'm determined to win. I finally land the last hit on the ender dragon. Visual cue, meme victory music, confetti overlay. Internal monologue, I did it, wait, why is the screen shaking? Suddenly a new boss appears, the Ultra Warden, twice as strong and twice as angry. The real final battle begins. The Ultra Warden charges, unleashing shockwaves. Visual cue, meme intense music, screen flashes. Internal monologue, this is it, everything I've learned comes down to this. I dodge attacks, use every trick in the book, water buckets, TNT, even chicken eggs. After an epic battle, I finally bring it down, or so I think. As I celebrate, the ground cracks open, revealing a portal to a new, even more dangerous dimension. Visual cue, meme to be continued sound, dramatic zoom out. Internal monologue, if you thought this was wild, wait until you see what's next. Roll credits, but the adventure is just beginning. Stay tuned for the sequel.